So, the way it was explained to me, you all, like, don't always see combat. Like, some of you guys, like, I don't know, back in the day, like, when telephones were first, like, a big thing, or right as they were coming out, it was kind of like, right, okay, so we need to raise money for some kind of campaign, so we're gonna need to petition. We're gonna need your help, like those Uncle Sam posters, like, we need your help, right? And then they would sign up for stuff, right? Then they put names to things and kind of grew themselves an organization, right? Got that? Okay. Then there's those of us that were in hidden, quiet places and projects that didn't think all this was that big of a deal, because we thought that if we made some phone calls, you all would still we're not growing too big. No, we're not getting too organized. Right, okay, when I see those criminal rings, like, grouping together and pulling in the opposite direction of the wind, purposely, it's going to be a real big fucking national security. It's going to be a world security issue. Right, so then why the fuck did you let it get there? That is such a good question. Because here's the thing. I wasn't on surface Earth at that point. I mean, like, right now, I'm hanging out on Earth with you. And before I got here, there's something called a Jupiter. Looks like that, except it's like 3 times the size. That's what all of the leadership management, doesn't matter, you call yourself an Asian, a Russian, an American, a New Yorker, a North Carolina, a California, whatever you call yourself, you're on Jupiter with stupider people all together, because that's how you were born. This life is on Jupiter. We're cohabitating on something called an Earth, which is what you heard. It's an Earth. And I belong where I was on Nibiru. So now, if Jupiter wants to kind of coordinate their bursa, BURZA and BURSA, in college and university, you go to the registrar and you go to the bursa's office, do you not? Right, yeah. You have to pay for the shitstorm that you are currently, you pay for those stupid classes that you all insist that you need to take in order to get somewhere in life, right? Yeah. How's that working out for you? Because I didn't get anywhere. I paid a whole lot, but I didn't really get anywhere. Oh my God, it's kind of like living on Earth with you all, right? I paid a whole lot in, but you didn't reward me in any fashion whatsoever. In fact, it's been fucking hell. So now they started making, like, it was easier, rather than doing like groups in a room, which was slow pedicure pace, right? Everybody got on like motors. They went from walking into big rooms to organize and to do like national security work, which was easy for the people who need help, like in right, how do we, right, yeah, we got some words and whatnot we gotta put together, some new words. All right, so now you picked up phones, which is just as much as getting into a bus, like that big Winnebago, like school bus, right? And you put a Corvette engine on it, and you're like, oh, listen, we're gonna do like 50 cities in like 10 hours. Let's go! Yeah! And it's like, whoa! I didn't need 50 cities in 50 years. And you're doing 50 cities in 50, like, what? That's going to be a problem. Yeah, it has been. So now some of you used to take phone surveys and raise money by getting new ideas, inventions, whatever, and products out. Naming them all sorts of funny things that were, I mean, I just saw an insulin cooler pack called Frio, Frio. I'm assuming that goes to Tia Frio for their league of I don't know what. So anyway, so now that's funding and so on and so forth, because not everybody gets shipped off somewhere in cat's pajamas and pretends to go fight other people that are doing the same thing that you're doing here, but over there, or maybe they don't know how to do it that way. I don't really know how the hell you're running the shit show. But like that should be enough for like, why did you give them communication devices? Like, they're not, like, you didn't educate them, and it's like, they speak too much. They speak nothing important. It's being counted based on how the treatment of the one main project is. I mean, the mannequins, they're like computer towers. Why do we need so many computer towers running at the same time? And why are all the computer towers loaded with different messages that make no sense to diagnostics who's trying to fix the one message? So this way there's some kind of congruency in principle, ideal, and what building something moving forward. Like, you don't even have a solid foundation on how your current habitat works. So what are you really, how are you building future when you don't know how your habitat works? I'm just curious. Right, yeah, you can't. Got it. Okay, so your plan is just to confuse everybody, talk a whole lot of smack and nothing special, fill them all with drugs, cars, drugs, and like education. But we went to college, right? Yeah, well, that's funny because crack, heroin, and also tranquilizer darts, they still find you after college when you can't find a job, you can't get, like, you can't pay your bills, you can't, I mean, like, it's amazing what will find you when you don't prepare properly in the get-go, and you leave God in a ghetto of hot, steaming pile of shit, and you fuck with all of her league's men. Right, or you build the league wrong to begin with. Right, okay, so am I still in a hot zone in New York? I'm just curious, because I know on one of those maps, like, we used to trade, like, I'll give you, like, some updates on future if you just give me, like, the one Vaudeville, like, pawn. Right, didn't we trade, like, a whole lot of people from inside to outside so we could get the one Vaudeville pawn out of New York? I mean, that was the requirement, is get the Vaudeville, the one, which is what I am, out of New York. So now, who didn't come through on the required payment and upkeep schedule on world scale? I'm just curious, because Vaudeville has never been able to get out of New York, and that's a real fucking problem on, like, a permanent scale. Because while you were all doing, like, fun projects and holding, like, heel and keel, right? Yeah. They removed the betrothed, the Rothschild's father, from New York. Illegal operation, by the way. Then they pinned him elsewhere, me here. Illegal operation, by the way. And then bred me all wrong. Illegal operation. Then we had to come in with the Virginia bit because there is real shit going on and scary side of things. I mean, there's multiple scary projects, but that's one of them. And then dumped me back into the piling shit of New York and left me here again for now. another 10, 15 years to pick up Tiafrio and his party. Now, his party is the drug party. Like, oh, that's where he hangs out at those weirdo Long Island Lolita and the things I never needed to know existed. Right, never wanted to know, never needed to know. That's the fucking party you threw me into. Maybe like last generation was respectful, right? Yeah, my age, my number, not so respectful. No. It's kind of like, oh God, where are they sending Barbie now? Like, she's like she's you have an asset sitting in like you guys like pretend is like a DEA or an ATF function, but you're just lying to the big dogs elsewhere that don't know better. And when they find out, it's gonna be really, really a hot zone, yeah, of contention. It sure fucking is. So now I had a dog once, and I mean like a real fluffy one, like the one that it was called a West Highland White Terrier. Lewis bought it for me for, I think, my 8th or 9th birthday. I wasn't allowed to have a dog. No, you can't have a dog. No, you can't have a dog. Great, okay. And all of a sudden I wake up one day from a nap, and he's just like, yeah, you want a dog? It's your birthday. I'm like, wait, it's a what? I was like, is this a trick? Like, literally, I looked at it, I looked at him, and I looked at the dog, and I'm like, you told me I wasn't allowed to have one. Like, I mean, what's going on? Like, is there something else I should know before I touch that animal and fall in love with it? Because I don't really trust the two of you, being Linda and Lou, right? They're like, no, it's your birthday. We agreed that you could have. Dad went to research. Well, it's like, what the fuck day did I just wake up in? Oh my God. Okay, great, thanks. I'll take the dog and walk away. Like, this was like a little white rat looking thing. And I called it Toby, Toby, to buy. Right, yeah, Toby from the north. Oh my God, Toby from the north, right, yeah. Based on Tobias, Tobias. Right, there's a bias? Really? A white Scot? No, it couldn't be a bias. I kind of have a bias, not to make anybody else mad. Tobias, the white Scotland, thank you. I'll just take my little white rat and run away. So now, I don't know if that clarifies anything, because usually manifestations helps sometimes, although it angers in other ways, because you're like, fuck, I got that one wrong! Yeah, that's going to be really painful, because that comes with Full Metal Jacket bullets. I'm just the messenger at this point, because this is not looking so good, and I was not supposed to be doing this, for sure. I mean, Vaudeville is Vaudeville. It's V, and then it's the gold, and then it's the diction. Oh, she owns the whole dictionary. Yeah, she sure fucking does. And then it's the V, and then it's the ill on the back end that happens when you don't do exactly as I need, and you play around with the equipment, the leadership, the leagues, the clubs, the whatever, and right, then argue somewhere along the lines that, like, oh, wait, you're right, yeah. Why don't you go take out everybody in the Shark Tank of, like, wasn't getting along and wasn't playing along with the proper, like, what we needed? Because you need me, for sure, and you need the other half of me. And whatever doesn't cooperate in putting the two of us together is non-essential equipment and is removable by execution in full. I don't know what takes so long to process those requests at, like, top of the tree, right?